All right, hello, welcome to the Ask a Christian podcast. I'm your host, Nate. No time for music today, and I'm just going to bang some stuff out because I have very limited time. So, there's going to be a fair amount of trust me, bro, I know what I'm talking about. So, you heard it here second, maybe first. See, I want to say if you've heard it here first, it doesn't matter. Anyway, I have time. I have to limit myself more than usual. So a couple things I just wanted to touch on. The last couple days have been really spicy politically. Today's still a fair amount of politics, but also, in being a good steward of the earth, your body is a temple. Along these lines, we can integrate Christianity into it. The last couple days have been really spicy, so those episodes are probably not going to see the light of day unless someone wants to sponsor them a lot. Then maybe I'll release them. Anyway. Let me know. So this one, it's still full of controversy, but it's a little less mean-spirited, maybe. Okay, so here we go. The GILA monsters and Trump tariffs. That's the message of the day. So we're going to talk about this as much time as I have. And Greg, I see you post a link. I'll get there in a minute. Okay, so the Supreme Court has decided to take up Trump's tariff case, and just listening to the clips is yet again rage-inducing. I am convinced that either Satan has way more power than even we thought possible. He's called the God of this world, the little g God of this world. We know he has terrible and great power and influence, but good Lord, it would have to be way more than even we thought for this idiocy to happen at the Supreme Court level from people who are supposed to be the top tier of the judicial law interpreters on the planet. Or there's compromise, there's subversion. I mean, half the court's already on the opposite side anyway. It doesn't matter. Like, they're like, yeah, I'm biased. I mean, they won't say they're biased. They'll be like, oh, we just interpret the law totally, fairly. Whatever. But they're already not on the side I think, of the Constitution, but they're clearly left, far left. So you already have almost half that battle won, and it's like throw up a hat, depending on the day, and some of the people who are supposed to be more conservative, constitutional, may go that way anyways, just because either they mean well and the devil has extraordinary power to bend the will of governments, even in the light of common sense, like smacking you in the forehead, or all these other things. People are compromised, people just have their own personal bias, people just don't like Trump, whatever the reason is, but it's not logic and common sense. So, the highlights of the Supreme Court, I think they're expecting a decision to be in the first of the year, so God help us all. It seems, from listening to them, they're very skeptical. Even the ones you would think, guys, this is totally legal, it's totally constitutional on its face. And then Trump's lawyer, if you've heard any of the clips, here's just an overview. If you've heard any of the clips, the guy, Trump's lawyer, it has like a Kennedy thing. It's like one of the larynx issues, so he sounds kind of like RFK talking, RFK Jr. talking, how he can't quite, his voice is stuttery. Anyway, so maybe not the best spokesperson. So can we not find someone who's super sharp and can also get the words out of their mouth? I mean, I feel bad critiquing the guy for that, but still, when you're talking before the Supreme Court, and he's talking super, super fast, and the Coney Barrett, I think, is like, hey, you're talking really fast. So he's trying to talk really fast to get these arguments out. Still, it's just not good. None of this is good. So the audio, because, I guess cameras are bad if they're having a bad hair day, but you can stick a microphone in there, that's fine. Whatever. I'm sure there's a rule about that somewhere. So it starts off, they're like, so why? It's such a condescending tone, all of them. It's not like, so here's what we're listening to. Here's the case presenting. So what is your evidence? What is your basis? Why do you think this is a good idea? It's more like, so why do you think this should be defended? Blah, blah, blah. It's like, oh, that's not a good start. Like, they're already critical. You can already tell they're critical. So it's not good. Usually when people have this type of posture, the justices, it doesn't typically go in their favor. But it should go in their favor, and unless there's some crazy reason why it doesn't that defies logic, the Constitution, law, and common sense, which, I don't know, supernatural evil that no mortal can stand up against or compromise or bias. I don't know, but it's not constitutional law. So anyway, the point is, one of these, I think it's Justice Roberts. He's like, so the law says that only Congress can impose a tax, and these tariffs, this is a tax, and why should the president be allowed to impose this tax? He keeps calling it a tax. So in normal people speak, you're like, oh, a tariff is a tax on this, it's a tax on that. It's not law. That's not the right jargon. So if you talk about, oh, a tariff's a tax on this, a tariff's a tax on that, you can say that colloquially as normal people speaking. But when you have a justice interchanging these words, it seems very intentional. Like a 10th grade, not even a first-year law student, a 10th grade civics student with like a C+ will be able to be like, oh, something's fishy here. Like a justice at the top of their game supposedly is not going to accidentally interchange these terms. So he keeps calling it the tariff a tax multiple times and uses that springboard to say Trump doesn't have the power to tax, only Congress has the power to do that. Then the lawyer doesn't point that out. He just goes on to another point. The point he went on to is perfectly fine and good, but that needs to be called out. Like, no, it is not a tax. Congress can tax and say, we're going to tax your income across the board for everyone. That requires Congress. What doesn't is tariffs. This is a 1977 law that's going on that talks about, like, for global whatever, Trump can, look it up. Trust me, bro. Trump can do this. Nixon did it. We'll get to that in a minute. Coney, Barrett. So Nixon did it. Everyone's done it, but Nixon did it notably. Obama did it. George Bush did it to the tune of like 30% of steel from China, or I think, or all steel or whatever. So Bush did it. Obama did it. Biden did it. Our 46th president, auto pen. Biden did it. He kept most of what Trump did in his first terms. If it was so bad, he could have got rid of that. The auto pen could have got rid of that, but no one did. So everyone's done tariffs. Anyway, so if you don't want to pay this tax, don't buy a BMW. Don't buy a Range Rover. If you choose to buy one of these things, then pay more money for it. That's your choice. It's not a tax. You can say, I'm going to support American business. So these people, these blue states, and these people who are suing, oh, hey, Chris, I see you. I'll get you in a minute. These people who are suing Trump for this, like these business owners, right? Now they care about the small business owner. Hey, small business owner, why are 3% of you trying to screw the other? Okay, well, the percentages are more even than that. But it's like the business owners who are like, our business is being destroyed. Make something in America. Do that. Be a producer, a manufacturer of your country. If everyone gets on board, then you can't say, oh, well, it's cheaper for these people to do that. Which is why you can say, on one hand, that seems like the Supreme Court saying Trump is arguing that he's taxing American businesses and taxing citizens, and that's bad. On the other hand, this is the most patriotic constitutional thing in the world. He is protecting all of the people who legitimately want to manufacture and produce in America. And if everyone in America did that, then you wouldn't even need these tariffs because everyone would buy, produce, and manufacture in America, and we would have this ethos here that it was, I don't know, America first? Is it crazy? Is that blasphemy? America first. And then, yes, if some foreign person wants to undercut us, you have to pay tariffs on that, but all the American citizens aren't paying tariffs. They're not paying this extra tax, if you want to wrongly call it that, because everyone's buying America. It's going to Americans working in American jobs and it's going back in the economy, and everyone's happy. American made? I mean, goodness, these are not new ideas. Okay, then we go to, I'm not going to run down the whole thing. You can find clips, but whatever. I just listened to a little bit of this stuff, and I had to turn it off because limited time, and it's also rage-inducing. So then Coney Barrett, she gets on here, and this is an example that we see here all day, every day. Nate, you're talking about yourself. Shh, whatever. I'm talking about other people. But when people act like they're so smart, they act like they're listening, but it's only to wait and respond. So Amy Coney Barrett, remember Miss Scratchpad, how in Congress in her hearing, everyone's like, people who thought she was a real conservative were making all the memes with like the smoke and her smoking the cigar and the sunglasses and like do like that meme because she like dropped the bomb. She was so great when they were asking her all these tough questions, and then it looked like she was writing stuff down on her scratch pad and she was responding just off the cuff, like super fast. The questioners couldn't even keep up with her, and they're like, oh, what are you writing on your scratch pad? She shows it up and it's completely blank. And it's like, wow, yeah, that's pretty smart to keep all that in your head and not have to write anything down. That's when everyone loved her. Then she went off the rails. Sometimes she's done some good stuff, but she's went off the rails, I think, way more than she should have. This is supposed to be a religious discussion. We'll get to that with the time we have. Anyway, the lawyer is making a good point, and she asks a question. First of all, she says, when was this ever used? And then he says, this tariff. She's like, when was this law? I don't know if it was the 1977 thing or something else she was talking about. The point is, she asks a question and says, when was this policy, this procedure, this thing implemented? And the lawyer immediately says, this was implemented in this case at this time. And she's like, oh, wait, I didn't mean that. I meant this. And she acted like the lawyer did something bad. The lawyer, she should have narrowed her frame of questioning. She's like, when was this done? The lawyer like, here's when this was done. She's like, oh, I didn't mean that. Oh my gosh, it's like the Muslim guy the other day. He's like, why would you call me a Muslim? Why would you call me? Why would you assume I am a Muslim? And it's like, because you just took a survey and said, what's your religion? You're like, I'm a Muslim. So it's like, when was this done? Here's when it's done. Oh, well, that's not important. That's not really what I meant. And he's like, okay. Well, it was done this in 1971 and Richard Nixon, da-da-da. She's like, wait. So this is an example. She's so smart, but she wasn't listening because he's like, clear as day. She's like, 1971, Richard Nixon, and she cuts him off. She's like, excuse me. That's not what we're talking about here. I'm Lincoln, da-da-da, and the slavery and the trade. He's like, what? He's like, I said 1971, Richard Nixon. She's like, oh, I thought you said Abraham Lincoln. I'm like, wow. So this is not great. It seems like these people, this is gonna be bad. So all that to say, we're done with that now. But sometimes you're so smart, you're not listening, or you're too smart. So the guy's like, 1971, Richard Nixon. She's like, no, we're not Abraham Lincoln. No, she's like, Nixon. She's like, oh, I thought you were, well, you should have listened better. So if that's the listening prowess we have from one of the, I guess, more astute members of the judiciary, this case is probably in trouble. So all of that to say, you can go look at these clips on your own. It's whatever. So all of that to say that it looks like not good. So I think people are expecting rulings around the first of the year. If they say that Trump doesn't have this authority, that he totally has the authority. You don't need to be a supreme, I guess to technically officially interpret the law, but to read it. It's like the Bible. Oh my gosh. Chris, do you realize our system is basically, everything comes down to Pharisees and Christians. That's what everything comes down to. In religious terms, it doesn't matter what your religion is. Effectively, you fall in the biblical paradigm of Christian, Christ follower, the right ones, or a Pharisee. Well, I'm not Jewish. You don't have to be. You feel that mindset. Same thing with this. Our civil, secular government falls into the side of Christian, which should be right, obvious, the answer is clear. You read the law, you read things with your eyes, and you use your God-given faculties to be like, I just read this. I understand. It's true. It's easy. Or you're the Pharisee side that's like so litigious and wants to legislate everything. You're like, we can't possibly understand this. We don't have eyeballs. How will we interpret this? We need a priest or a justice or someone who can possibly make sense of this law, this thing that is so clear anyone, a child, could understand it. Pharisees. Even in secular government, we have Christians and Pharisees. The paradigm. Okay, so the point is, if they shoot this down and say, no, he doesn't have the authority, he's going to have to pay back like over $1 trillion, and it's already putting a hamper because other countries aren't going to be so quick to make deals with him from now until the ruling, because they're like, well, why would I want to make a deal that's going to be bad for my country and not let us get away with the screw job we've been doing to America for so long? Why would I want to make that deal if this is all going to be overturned? So it's already impeding that, and then it's going to nullify everything in the future if this happens. So this could be the worst thing. Everyone else that's like, trust the plan. No, you've checked out. Everyone that's like, I say I'm blackpilled from time to time on just the government stuff because of things like this. But I mean, it doesn't. Blackpilled, like in some philosophical way, like, yes, it's blackpilled world, probably doomed, but it doesn't mean give up and just throw in the towel. It means keep doing what you can, keep voting, keep, I guess, talking about it, but still fight till the end. But it doesn't look good. It's a big black cloud. So this is about the biggest consequential thing that can immediately screw this country and all of us because of reasons that I would strongly argue are not common sense, they're not logical, and they are not the law. The law is the president has the power to do this. Okay, Chris, take notes. I'm going to give you one more thing. Next up is, these are the things that make you scratch your head. While you have Islamists saying how they're claiming New York City and the United States for Islam and Allah, and Trump's criticized, some of that stuff. But then he has a special announcement yesterday. I'm like, ooh, what's he going to announce? Saving Christians in Nigeria? Something about Venezuela traffickers? What's he going to announce? It was about how he's made a deal. Good Lord. How he's made a deal to get weight loss drugs like Ozempic, Wegovy, whatever, cheaper for the American people who are too lazy to just exercise and stop eating on their own. So that was the big announcement. I waited with bated breath. I'm like, oh, what's this going to be? Is it going to be good? Are Christians going to get to live longer in Nigeria? No. Fat people are going to be able to do less work in the gym and get cheaper drugs. So, I mean, overall, is cheaper drugs good? Like, diabetes medication, things like that. Well, yeah, cheaper drugs across the board is better because we're paying like 75% of the pharmaceutical bill, while like 3% of the population uses the drugs, and everyone else has orders less of money they have to pay for their prescriptions. So it's good that we get cheaper drugs across the board because we're just getting screwed. Like, a bad deal is a bad deal. However, to focus on weight loss drugs, yes, we're a fat country. But to focus on this, it's almost as if karma, if that's a thing, or the justice of God, or whatever, it's as if something said, wrong time to do this. This is a weird flex. So while I watched this press conference, while Trump is giving this press conference in the middle of the day, not about anything that's super important, he's having all these people, these guests from the producers of Wegovy, Ozempic, and these other weight loss drugs or whatever, talk about how great it is and how they're working, getting the prices down. And then this happens. I'm not going to let Clubhouse hear the audio. That's too much work. It's not, the audio is not important. The guy faints. That's what's important, so I don't have time to switch it right now.
Has been investing in America. We've been advancing science and creating high-value jobs. But today are you okay? Gordon, you okay?
And there he goes. So this is one of the guests from this company, Gordon something. Trump went around the table, I believe right before this, and he was talking about how great it is. He's like, oh, are you on that? I know this director of this is on that. This guy in my office, he's on this one. He's on that one. Oh, all these people are on these weight loss drugs. They're great. I cannot be sure because I didn't have time to go back and watch and verify, so check me. Kind of trust me, bro, but verify me if you care. So Trump was saying, he was going down the line saying, hey, are you on this drug? Are you on this drug? Are you on this drug? And some of them are like, yes, it's great. Yes, it's great. I think that guy who fainted is one of the ones that said, yes, he's on one of these weight loss drugs. So if that is true, that is like instantaneous karma. We're having this press conference when the world is burning. Why wasn't it about tariffs? That's what needs out there. Like, get this in the public sphere. That's the biggest issue right now. I think more than New York City. This will instantly murder the economy in the face overnight. Anyway, instead of doing that, he's like, Wegovy, Ozempic, weight loss drugs. It's great. It's great. You on that? Yep. Faint. So I wonder if the reason why those who do these drugs have issues, because he's like, I don't think there's any negative thing about this. I haven't heard anything negative about it. If there's anything negative, we'll let you know right away. I know he's busy, so maybe he's telling the truth. But dude, everyone's heard awful stories about weight loss drugs, awful stories about Ozempic, all these things causing different problems. Why could that be? Well, maybe because it's made from synthetic GILA monster venom. And I think someone mentioned something about other drugs use like what's it called? Peptides of like anglerfish. Have you seen an anglerfish? Let me show you an anglerfish. Doop-a-doop-a-doo. Results are what matter, right? So if results matter, who cares? If it's like DNA from the devil, as long as it works, I may draw the line there. So then they're like, well, technically, there's an anglerfish if you're looking. Pretty cute thing, huh? That's a cute little buddy. That's a cute little guy. Oh, look at that one with all the spikes on it. Do you want that in your body? Do you want anything like that in your body? Do you want anything modeled after something like that in your body? And for the people who are like, you're not telling the truth. It's da. Well, first of all, it's like semaglutide, this thing right here, this word. This is from the GILA monster. So maybe slightly less creepy. But then they'll say, well, it's based on this peptide. It's a synthetic form of this. That doesn't matter. The idea is, look at that. I mean, on one hand, he's a cute little guy. Till he bites you and every one of his teeth have like poison toxins in it that kill your face. I think it does kill your face. I think it gives you paralysis before you die. Check me on that. Trust me, bro, but check me. Anyway, so the toxic bite of a GILA monster can kill a human, but specific ingredient. So that was from GoodRx, by the way. This is like GoodRx, the cost saving thing if you don't have insurance and stuff like that. So this is not partisan. This is not bias. This is just saying, here's the ingredients list. So this is just listing the ingredients. It's like, oh, your source is. My source is the ingredients. So the best case you can make for it as well, it's a synthetic version of this. Do you want something? Does it sound like a good idea? And after all the people fainting and falling out and having problems, like was it detached retina? I believe that was one of the claims people are making associated with Ozempic and things like that. Is it any wonder? Oh, he's like, you did a demon. Anyway, whether it's synthetic or not, anything that comes from that, I don't want something from that replicated and put in my body. Well, we do that in other medicines. Fine, let's talk about that. This is a pretty extreme example. So, all that to say, Chris, stop making your eggs. It's time for you to speak about any of these things. I have very limited time. But Trump is right. Tariffs are good. It's not a tax. It is not a tax. It is not a tax. It is a tariff. If you don't want to pay the tariff costs passed on to you, don't buy the non-American thing. Health-wise, you don't need Gila Monster Venom in your body to lose weight. Stop eating Twinkies and run on a treadmill. As someone who, it's not that easy for me. Dude, it's not easy for me. Yet I've done it multiple times. I'm doing it again. Getting a little pudgy. I'm like, what am I going to do? Go on Ozempic? I'm like, nope. I'm going to do what I did the first time, which is cut some calories, eat healthier versions of those calories, less carbs, more protein, hit the gym, and walk on a treadmill. It is not a horrible sacrifice. It's actually pretty easy. You don't have to spend hours in the gym. It's like economics. Spend more calories, spend more money than you make, you'll be poor. Spend more calories than you take in, you'll be poor and fat. You will shed it, and you will be health rich. Okay, this is not medical advice. We don't do that here. If you think any of this was medical advice, you have misunderstood me. Reach out for clarification. Chris, every single day I think I'm going to wrap something up in 5 minutes and pass it off to the room. And 40 minutes later, I still haven't. Welcome, Chris. Topher.
It's been a morning, huh?
I just wake up, I listen to my Bible, I'm like, here's a very good Bible passage. Acts 5, let's talk about that later if we have time. I'm like, here's a Bible passage. I'm gonna lead with this today and be very holy and start off on the right foot. And then I'm like, okay, I've read my Bible. Now, let's see what's going on in the world today. Let's see what current events there are. And I'm just like, just rage out.
Yeah, clearly.
Dude, this world is so stupid.
Yeah.
This world is not our home. We're just traveling through. Mark knows that song. Do you know that song, Chris? This world is not my home. I'm just traveling through. It's like an old Pentecostal hymn. Yeah.
Oh, that's why I don't know it. If it's a Pentecostal hymn, I'm not going to know it. Never been to Pentecostal. I mean, I've been to Pentecostal churches, but I've never been a member of a Pentecostal church.
You don't need to be a member to read a hymnal. We'll allow it.
Yeah.
Anyway, what do you think about any of this? I mean,
tariffs are a tax. Sorry, buddy.
Okay, see, if you say tariffs are a tax, that's fine because you're not a justice and you're not interpreting the law. A tariff is a tariff. A tax is a tax. The way Roberts, if you heard the clip, it is painfully clear. The way Roberts was saying, I think this was Roberts. I'm pretty sure it was. Trust me, bro. The way Roberts was saying this is, he's like, when only Congress has the power to tax, therefore this tariff is a tax, which only Congress can do. Like, that's the way, I just have a feeling that's the way he's setting this up, so he can say, watch, in his opinion, one of his lines, I'm sure, is going to be, or he'll hand it off to someone else and have them do it because he don't want to, but it'll be, because only Congress can levy taxes, Trump can't do tariffs. equivalating that with a tariff is a tax in just the way Congress has the power to do, not the way the law reads that the president can do tariffs on other nations. Because a tax is, hey...
Can we talk to Mr. Peabody really quick?
Who's that?
You remember, like, the Wayback Machine and Mr. Peabody and his boy?
That name sounds familiar. Was it an educational thing or like a cartoon?
Yeah, it was a cartoon. It was
like
on
an educational
They would
cartoon?
go to, like, it was like fractured history, you know, they'd, like, go back in time with Mr. Peabody and his Wayback Machine, and they'd meet Genghis Khan or, like, you know, people like that.
Okay, then if you're going to get to a tariff is a tax exactly only the way that Congress can pass, then we don't need any laws about tariffs because it's all just disqualified. And also, vote blue.
Are you familiar with a period in history known as the Great Depression?
Yes, and a greater depression will be if they rule against his constitutional ability to levy tariffs against people who are screwing us.
But
the Great Depression and the Greater Depression.
The Great Depression was brought about by which Congress, which law that was passed by Congress and signed into law by Herbert Hoover?
I don't think you can trace the Depression to one thing, but go ahead and tell us. I'm not immediately familiar with it. I'm just going to say you cannot trace the Great Depression to one thing.
Well, you're correct. There's a couple of things that happened, but the main catalyst for the Great Depression was something called the Smoot-Hawley Tariff Act. So it wasn't that Herbert Hoover was running around instituting tariffs with executive orders. It was that Congress, who has the power to levy taxes, levied tariffs, in this particular case, Smoot-Hawley Tariff Act, which kicked off a trade war which destroyed international trade, wiped out many fortunes, caused the stock market crash, and basically was the catalyst for the entire Great Depression.
Okay.
Right. And so then, subsequently, we have gotten, a whole bunch of folks together with the WTO and the General Agreement on Tariffs and Trade and all that stuff. And everybody realizes tariffs are really bad. Even Trump knows that tariffs are really bad. Right. Because he says that his goal is to make sure that we have fair trade, i.e., he has taken tariffs off of countries which have removed their tariffs on our products.
Yes. I don't know where this is going, except I want you to answer one. When did you become a liberal white lady? And despite the
fact that I didn't finish my last two classes in college, my college career was a major in economics with a concentration in tariff and trade theory. Yeah.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, my main professor, Dr. Martin, was on the GATT committee that helped draft the GATT. So I'm extremely familiar with this subject. And then the other thing is that, but I mean, it was 30 years ago I had it in college, but the other half of my degree, my minor, was political science.
Okay, great. So if you didn't finish college, you're qualified to be on the Supreme Court. That's the kind of stuff we're working with. Secondly, a lot of arguments you made before Trump did the tariffs, those were sound. I probably still would have fought against them and be like, no, I think this is different. This is not the same. But now is the wrong time to make that because we see this is actually working. This plan is working. It's not leading to the Great Depression. It is leading to an incredible surplus, like incredible. And it's not like hold on. I got a lot in here. So it is leading to a huge surplus, and it's true. Like the idea is everything is free and fair across the board. This is like Michael and you saying only Christians should vote. And it's like, well, atheists, what about you? No, everyone should vote. Great. If that's your stance, you automatically lose. So it's like if you vote for yourself for president, everyone running for president votes for themselves. It's like, oh, well, is that arrogant? Is that one-sided? Blah, blah, blah. Well, no, if everyone agrees, look, all the contenders, we're not going to vote for ourselves for whatever reason, then that's fair across the board. If only one person says, no, I'm going to be the best president, I'm voting for myself. Well, great. Now they automatically have an advantage because there's one more vote for them. then you voted for yourself. So if everyone is playing the same game, fine, that's acceptable. However, everyone is already not playing the same game. So like Trump is like, look, all these people that are having incredible tariffs on America for the last decades and decades and decades, sometimes I think it's decades and decades, he can't start out and say, well, I'm not going to vote for myself if you don't vote for yourself. They're already voting for ourselves. So if you're like, well, it's free and fair, that's what it's been, and that's why we're screwed. We're getting unevenly taken advantage of for like 80 years or more than that. Let me wrap this up. So the point I'm making, Chris, is even Trump said this. He's like, I'm going to hit back. And he didn't hit back far enough, not nearly far enough. Remember that? He's like, well, China's got X amount on us. We're going to do half that on them. I'm like, dude, do 300% on them. Who cares? Like bring them to the table fast. Anyway, so he was incredibly more generous than I thought he should be. Regardless, it worked. So now, as like Japan, right? Like, so there's Jeep that's owned by Fiat, and there's going to be, I believe, a tariff on that because it's a foreign company, and a lot of their crap is being made and shipped in. So Jeep, even though it was American, now it's owned by Fiat. So I think they're going to have a tariff on some of the Jeep models because they're not doing free and fair. However, Japan is makes Toyota. Well, Toyota is making plants and their models, I believe, in Texas. So now they are not going to have an increased cost, because remember that I bought a 4Runner, which was the only Toyota that was made in Japan. I don't know if it still is or not, but I had to pay like $800 more for shipping costs, and because it was made in Japan. So is that a tax? Is that a tariff? That was before Trump was even in office. No, it wasn't a tax or a tariff. That was just shipping costs. But the point is, it costs more money. But now he's like, no, you don't even have to pay that. So if you want to buy a car that was traditionally from a foreign company in a foreign country, now they're like, hey guys, we're going to make our stuff in America. So now not only do you not have to pay a tariff or tax, you also don't have to pay a shipping cost. You get a discount on it. So now he's like, look, you take your tariffs off us, we'll take them off you. That's what everyone wants to get to zero across the board. But for those who refuse to do that, bang, reciprocal tariffs. That's fine. It's not what he wants. It's not what's ideal, but it's what you got to do. If they're going to vote for themselves, he's voting for ourselves. That's the whole point. Uh-huh. So I just think, yes.
Yeah. I mean, look, man.
That's not wrong, right?
It's pretty wrong. But like,
okay. Wait, just agree with me. Just for the next 20 minutes, agree with everything.
Agree with you.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
But before
tariffs
we got
awesome. We should put 8 billion% tariffs on everything.
No. We should only do that if people are screwing us. We should be like, tariffs aren't awesome. We don't want to tariff anyone. No one's tariffing us. Oh, great. No one gets tariffed. However,
but
before...
do you know how Trump is calculating how...
Hold on. The thing I really want to say is before we don't need an income tax. Like, we don't need to be taxed because tariffs paid for this. The world has changed. It was long ago. Could it still work? Let's find out. Because all I know is before, 1917, 23, whatever, before there was the tax, we earned our money from tariffs. We didn't have to be taxed. Who thinks that's a bad idea? People with ulterior, malevolent motives. Okay, I'm done.
Yeah.
Tell us why tariffs are awful.
Okay, so I will just give you an example from my own small business. I heard you saying just buy American. There are certain things that are not made in America because the economics of these things simply don't work out. Surveillance cameras is an excellent example. The average surveillance camera that I can purchase from China, which is a high quality, long lasting 8 megapixel surveillance camera, costs me about $60 with shipping per camera. The equivalent camera, if it were made in America paying American wages, would cost like $600, literally 10 times the cost for the same camera. Okay? That is not sustainable. My clients who are small restaurateurs, they can't afford $600, and by the way, that would be $600 my cost. With my markup of 40%, you're looking at $840 per camera. Okay. My clients can't possibly afford to put 15 cameras in a restaurant so they can keep an eye on their investment and make sure their employees aren't stealing at almost $1,000 a pop for cameras. Okay. It's just simply unsustainable. They'd have to charge like, then you would be outraged because you go to your local, you know, Pop Sunset Grill and a burrito costs $28. Well, they got to get that money back somehow. And you're very pissed off, as Nate, as you get. Why is my burrito $28? And it's because, you know, we now have to buy $840 surveillance cameras just to do basic operations in a restaurant.
I don't want to be like Amy Coney Barrett, who only listened to respond. So I want you to know you are heard. I did hear you. You are loved. Okay,
Thank
now
you.
what you
so
say?
Do you want to pay $28 for a burrito? Yeah. Okay.
No. So what you said is not wrong. So there's two schools of thought. One, something has to give at some point. So it is my thought. I would rather rip off the Band-Aid and have some short-term pain while someone figures this out. We need to actually get some of the best and brightest to figure this out, right? The Founding Fathers. How can we start a new nation? Oh, it's easier just to give in to England. Oh, this is how it's got to be too much pain. Well, there'll be war and death and da-da-da. We could still be under the King's English right now or whatever. We could be writing theater with an R-E at the end. We could be spelling color with O-U-R. If the Founding Fathers weren't like, no, enough is enough. We are out. So at some point, either we keep going down this road and say, no, it's too expensive, we don't want to do this. The idea is it won't be this way forever if we get our act together and make some monumental changes. It took us a long time to get in this mess. Well, it didn't take so long to get in this mess, but it took us not so long to get in this mess, but we have been in this mess for a very long time, this predicament. So it's not going to get out of it overnight, but I believe this is the right roadmap. I mean, we should do more. Like, people should do more to come up with a plan, not just say, like, tariff and kind of leave it indefinitely like that. People should come up with a legitimate plan, get some coalitions, get business owners, get, like, I don't know, business unions and things like that to get on board and come together and unite and be like, here is a plan forward. How can we start doing America first? How can we get new manufacturers? How can we branch off? How can we bring manufacturing back to America in a way that we don't consider, we don't call other business owners and manufacturers cheaters or whatever if they do or don't do our plan? We need to unite like a union, I guess. I don't like unions, but in this case, we need to find some kind of coalition and people that can develop a 10, 15, 20-year plan to ease the burden so we can start bringing this back without a $30 burrito. Maybe instead of a $16 burrito, it's a $17.50 burrito. Just figure out something incrementally so we can bring this back, because it's also about quality,
I
right?
love
People
how
are like,
you do economics like so.
hold on.
So
Well,
Ron
people
Mondani.
are also like, I don't mind paying more for something if the quality's better. Well, it turns out we do, because I tend to go on cheaper stuff too. So I am part of the problem, but I'm willing to not be. Just somebody get us on board, get the nation, the manufacturers, the business leaders, the legislators, which is never going to happen, on board for a plan to dig us out of this. Because if you buy cheap crap from China, great, your owners can keep tabs on their business. So can other countries. Do you remember that when thermostats are we have Wi-Fi electronic thermostats. Oh, why is there a microphone in here? Oh, why is this going back to other nations? That's creepy. So it's not
I'm sure
it's
the PLA
subsidized.
wants to watch, El Cilantrio's cameras at 2:00.
Oh my gosh! You're a brown shirt. If you don't have anything to fear, why does it matter if the government spies on you? If you're not doing anything wrong.
Nate, look, man, I love how you do economics like Zohan Mandani. It's like, well, we'll figure it out. We're going to have the free grocery stores for Steph, and we're just going to make everybody pay for it. We're just going to get together, and we're just going to figure it out. Screw those laws of economics.
What I'm saying, Chris, is with your uncompleted economic degree, I believe you are smart enough that you could take what I'm suggesting, and I would entrust you to do some brainstorming, and probably, in a month, you'll be like, you know what, I've thought about this long and hard with the knowledge I have, and this is, I believe, a viable plan over the next 10, 15 years to bring things back to America in a way that won't completely murder the cost for everyone.
I totally
have
the answer. Do you want me to tell you in 2 sentences what the answer is?
Blame Canada? Okay.
No,
Shout out, Michael.
Here you go. Shout out. Let's open a bunch of electronics plants. We're going to have some basic classes on how to put these things together, and we will import 3/4 of the Mexican population to move to the United States, and they can man all the factories.
No.
How do you feel about that?
Well, I if it worked, it would be fine. Except that's robbing Peter to pay. Oh, stop your maniacal cackle. You're not Tucker Carlson. You're robbing Peter to pay Paul. You're identifying a problem. You're coming up with one solution, but your solution creates another problem. Your goal is to create a solution that doesn't incur other problems. Yes,
Bring
Greg.
back slavery.
The official position of the Ask a Christian podcast is we do not endorse slavery.
No, Greg has the whole plan. All the babies that were going to be aborted. Right?
I would like
so
to
it's not
inform...
based on race. It's just whoever was going to be aborted. We just make them slaves, right?
I would
Greg?
just like to point out the serious discussion has ended. This is now for entertainment. Steph, what were you going to say?
I just wanted to remind the audience that I'm a perfectly normal, civil human being, and I'm caught between a man stuck in an OCD loop and two men advocating for the return of slavery. I'm just doing the best I can up here.
Whatever you say, sugar.
One way or another, it's going to happen. If the Muslims take over, we got slavery anyway.
Steph,
so...
is my OCD loop the least bad comparatively to the other things?
Yeah, I actually do prefer the OCD loop over advocating for the return of slavery. But Nate, I do want you to know
I'm better than slavery.
Yeah, but well, significantly. I want you to know that my son gets stuck in these loops that are very hard to break him out of, and it's incredibly identical to the thing that you do. I just want you to know.
Are you saying that Nate's autism is showing?
A little bit. I don't think he has autism. I think he's got OCD. I've thought this for about 5 years, and he's highly functioning. It's fine. It's just very funny.
Could we at least agree on like a touch of Asperger's?
I don't know. It's definitely obsessive. Like Peter. Okay, I will tell you a brief story about this.
These are my friends, everyone. These are my friends.
We're very fond of you, but this is part of what comes with the Nate package, right? Is like we are buckled in for the roller coaster of a complete loop for as long as it takes for you to get yourself out of it, and we're just stuck on the ride, you know. Peter will.
But
come
it's
home.
not a bad ride necessarily. Maybe some bumps, maybe some dips.
I mean, we're here every day.
Can we call it a thrilling ride?
Yeah. It's very entertaining. I do have some concern about the level of internal suffering you're experiencing. But for the
I am on
rest of
cloud
us,
9. This is catharsis.
Peter has recently been hitting his classmates in a methodical order that no one can figure out.
Are you saying I should hit Chris?
Well, maybe, but he goes around and he's got a list and he will announce who he's about to hit and when.
See who he is a hit list.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Amazing, actually.
So
that's
he
pretty
goes
organized.
We do not endorse hit list.
He goes in and he announces to his aide, I'm going to hit Jackson. And he does it with narrowed eyes and a sneaky little snake face. And then he goes over and he bops Jackson. Then he gets in trouble and then he announces, I'm going to hit Ava. And so then he gets, like, by the third time, which is always the same 3 kids, right? Then he goes to the principal's office and then he gets sent home because they don't know how to handle kids. And then he comes home and for an hour, he's in a loop of, I was at my desk and I was sitting and I was going to hit Jackson and I walked up and I hit Jackson and then I went in timeout and then I walked up and I hit Ava. And he will get on this loop that is impossible to break him out of. And I will ask him questions like, is Jackson mean to you? Do you not like Jackson? Why do you hit Jackson? And he goes, no, Jackson is my friend. Jackson is great. I hit Jackson. So then I walked up and I hit Jackson. And I just want you to know, Nate, that it smells identical to the thing that you just did.
I think I have the tools I need to claim victory because you identified yourself as the most normal one here, which is still comparatively to the rest of society, I don't know. But as the most normal one, I just want to say as, you know, the crazy one, but not as bad as slavery, I have, you know, I don't want to jinx this, but just for data's sake, I have 2 children that, you know, I think are fairly good and decent human little beings, and I have 3 well-trained pets. You, as the most well-adjusted one, says you, have a child creating hit lists. So if my autism produces children who do not do that yet, and a well-trained dog and 2 cats, well, the cats are whatever. But I'm going to say that's okay.
Well, you got me there. I mean, I think your daughters are going to be very good listeners in their marriages one day. I think that they're going to be excellent at glazing over and acting as though they're paying attention very intensely when they're totally somewhere else.
You know, I am self-aware enough to give them a choice because the last few days, since I've been on this rampage and I'm just like chattering about this stuff, they hear bits and pieces, so they'll make the mistake of asking a question on the way to school. My wife, I think, has done this too. I have taught my family well, so they'll be like, "Hey, Nate," or my kids will be like, "Hey, Dad, I have a question," and they'll ask one question, and immediately, as they start asking questions, like yesterday, Michael's like, "Would you say only Christians can vote?" And I paused like 2 seconds because as soon as he said, "Should only Christians vote?" my brain, I can like see it, is just shooting webs of all these plausibilities and like different universes. And he's like, "It took you way too long to answer." I'm like, "Hold on. It's not that the answer took long. It's that like I'm like going through like 1,000 different scenarios right now. Like I've got the answer, but I've got to parse this stuff." Anyway, so my kids are like, "Hey,
Oh my
Dad,
goodness.
why
He's
is
in a loop.
It's
Gonna break
Dad,
out soon.
I was
Break out,
listening.
Nate.
I was listening to
The
something about
web
Mamdami, and they're like, "Why is this Mamdami guy bad? It's in New York. That's far away. Why
You
does
told us
everyone?"
this story.
I'm telling you again, it's relevant. I'm like, I'm telling you a different part, Steph. This is like the recap. And they're like, "Why does it matter? They're so far away." I'm like, "Okay, kids, do you just want do you want the real answer, or do we just want a quick answer?" And they're like, "Give the real answer." 15 minutes later, I'm dropping them off at school. They're opening the door saying, "Bye, Dad, I love you." And I'm still talking. I'm like, "Wait, that's because the Constitution is at stake."
So, just so you're aware, the obsessive portion is where the web occurs in your brain and you feel the need to follow each web, okay, each little
But
string in the web.
why
And
is
then
that bad?
it's not. The compulsion is that your skin begins crawling if you can't say all of it. I just want you to know it's
Okay,
such a-
right. So
it's so crazy.
I get that it's clear, but my issue, among many, my issue is this: if I see all these things and all these rabbit trails to go down, I mean, there's some rabbit trails where I'm like, I don't have time for that. I don't want to have time for that. But if it's something that I think, well, this is interesting, this is worthy of the discussion, if we're going to talk about a discussion point, then I see all these avenues that are right, that should be discussed to have a full understanding of this talking point. So then maybe most people could be like, "I'll let that go." I mean, if I really wanted to, I could probably be like, "Well, I'm not going to talk about that," but that would bother me. And then you would say, "It bothers you because you're obsessing about it and it makes your skin crawl." Well, it makes my skin crawl not because I have to, not a circular skin crawling, but a virtuous skin crawling, because I'm like, well, I don't have to because I have to. I could not, but I have to because it's right that in this discussion you flesh out all the pertinent points. So if these are pertinent points, then I should give these points to everyone, even if that takes 700 words in an hour and a half. Because it's right. Not because I have to because I have to. I have to because I'm doing this service for you. And see, now I'll stop myself.
Well, you stopped yourself about 60% of the way through the compulsion. So we're getting.
I hate you all! I hate you all!
This we would consider to be
I'm just
clinical
kidding. I love you.
improvement.
Don't hate. Don't hate.
What are your thoughts on Nate's OCD diagnosis that I have issued him?
We do
So,
not give
Nate,
medical advice. Sue
Nate,
Steph.
I'll come to your rescue a little bit here.
Oh man.
Having been a mental health care professional for
Oh my God.
27-ish years, I can say that I've never met anyone that isn't a little bit neurotic. So I don't think you fall outside the norm, I would say.
Wait, you think Nate is only a little bit neurotic?
Yeah, but I would say the same thing about myself, you, and everybody else. Everybody, like there was actually a paper that I read on obsessive compulsive disorder, and there were 700,000 people ran through this study. It's about 10 years ago. Every single person was either obsessive or compulsive.
By what standard?
Medical science.
You can do this.
Precept for mental health.
And you can do this in 15 minutes when I stop myself and run away and leave you all to Steph. Don't tell Steph, anyone. Don't tell Steph.
I guess the whole thing, Nate, is do you feel
gosh.
like
I'm dying inside? Yeah, a little bit.
no,
Not
that's
from that.
clear.
Can we,
Like
can we
I can
do
hear
a
that
whole
just
diagnosis
yeah.
right
I can
now?
hear
Can
that
you
just from
run him through it?
no,
Let's
I
see
can
what
hear that
Zane
just
has
from
to
your
say
voice.
first.
And you can never diagnose someone over the internet because 80% of our communication is nonverbal, so you have to be able to see their body language.
Oh, he's been wanting to FaceTime people, so maybe you could do him a solid and give him a FaceTime.
Pardon me for wanting to up the game.
I'm also not a clinical psychologist, so not certified.
You can go watch my
give these types
expressions
of
on camera
diagnoses.
right now. You can watch my
Anyway.
expressions. Go ahead, Michael.
I don't think there's anything "quote unquote" seriously wrong with you, Nate, any more than there is anybody seriously wrong with Steph or anybody else. Like Chris is clearly like bonkers. But
I mean, Greg wants slavery.
That's true.
Yeah, well, Michael missed that part. Look, I should say that I do have.
No,
an
I heard
OCD.
that part. But
Oh, you did.
what
Okay,
caught my attention more was when Greg called you sugar, Steph, which I thought was telling.
well,
You
there's a
get that,
joke about
from
that from
yesterday.
yesterday.
That's
Yeah,
messed up.
he's
Also,
leaving
was it
half
just
that word
misogyny
out.
shining through? Okay.
Oh no,
Well,
no.
it was also he was enjoying the opportunity.
Yeah,
But
yesterday, Steph.
I should
Yeah.
say the reason I tease Nate about this is because I do have a very real OCD disorder diagnosis, and mine is somatic OCD, and my obsessions are like how my body feels, and my compulsions are checking my vitals. I'm not even kidding. This is a real thing. So I am joking and teasing Nate, but this is a diagnosis that I have.
What's your
so I
blood
get it.
pressure right now?
Steph, you've shared that
1,000.
before.
Okay, hold on. Let's
Not
let's say
poking
hi.
at people with OCD. I have a somatic OCD diagnosis. It sucks. It's the
Let's
worst.
say
But
hi
Nate
to
totally
Zane
has this also.
real quick. Zane, hello. How are you?
Zane has that baby.
Is that Tourette's too?
Wow.
Oh, yes.
It sounded like
I
you wanted to eat
got
the baby.
pictures of the baby.
Do we know Zane? Do I know Zane?
Yes, we do.
Zane, what's up?
He's at work, probably.
Well, why is he on stage then?
For the few moments that he's off a call and can chat.
Oh, okay.
You definitely know who that is.
Oh, I'm sorry, Zane. Come back. Come back, Zane. I didn't mean to make you run. This would be my curse if anything. I am all these things you say, but you're like, oh, well, you're high functioning. Just not enough to figure out how to monetize it.
Well, Jamesy had a good point in the chat. OCD is only a disorder if it's
Is this like
impacting your life.
Is this like you're only an alcoholic if you admit it?
No,
That's
I
not
mean
true.
lots
That's
of
not true.
people have obsessive compulsions and it makes them really good. Like a lot of nurses have what you could diagnose as obsessive compulsions, but it's part of what makes them really good at their job and really fulfilled by it. So yeah, there's no like if you're doing a talk show and you are really obsessive about making sure you're thorough on your points, I'm poking at you and making fun of you, but this is not a bad quality to have. You're fine, Nate. You're fine.
No, Steph.
I just like
God,
to tease you about
good.
your
Church,
loops on
good.
tariffs.
I'm a Christian. I can't explain it. I was indoctrinated. God, good.
See, there you go.
Mark 5?
Let
John
that-
3?
Let
Yeah.
that OCD go. Let those compulsions float by.
John
You
3
don't need
what,
to
Nate?
engage
We
them.
need chapter and verse. No, that's too much. John 3. What
I mean, if
verse?
you ever
Doesn't
did
matter.
exposure and relapse prevention therapy, ERP, it would ruin you. Don't do it. If anyone ever offers that to you, just say no, because this is one of your endearing qualities. We like it.
Be angry yet do not sin. Be angry yet do not sin. Be angry yet do not sin.
Hey, Chris, let me ask you something. How familiar are you with Gary DeMar?
None at all.
Okay. Just
Also-
go
Why
ahead.
is he? Who is that?
Sorry, I was going to ask Nate to give me mods real quick, so while they're talking, I can add a title and a link.
Really? I was thinking about blocking you all.
Oh,
yes,
wow,
there you
rude.
go. There you go.
Gary
There
DeMar,
you go, Steph.
I believe is
Okay.
a full preterist, but and I'm trying to figure out if I heard him right. It seems like his position, regarding the resurrection, regarding the bodily resurrection, is that death is already defeated, and now when a Christian dies, or I guess even when an unbeliever dies, that the resurrection isn't so much of a temporal event, it's more of a category. So like everyone who dies is instantly transformed into, like if a believer dies, they're instantly transformed into their new body. So the new body they're given, like it says in 1 Corinthians 15, right? You sow a seed, whether it's bare grain or corn or whatever, and God gives it a body as he pleases, but the body he gives it bears no resemblance to what you put in the ground. So it seemed to me like his idea is that it's not a resurrection of this body, like that this body is just like a seed, but there is a resurrection. We do have eternal life in a body, but that happens instantly. The reason I was asking is because I was going to ask you if I was misunderstanding him, but if you don't know about his position, then
I don't, but we can do some research on it. And I mean, the full preterist position I got the other day was that there is no physical resurrection, and that Jesus was the only one who physically resurrected, and that the rest of us will not be physically resurrected.
That doesn't sound like the first of us. That sounds like the only. It seems like that scripture needs to be written if that's true, which is good that scripture doesn't need to be rewritten because it's not true. He is the first, which means he is not the last or only. Except
I agree with that. Yeah, full preterism is pretty wacky.
More wacky than slavery and OCD?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Chris, the my Mac connection, it does seem to be better. Now it's hanging on for like 30 and 40 minutes. Yesterday it was 15 hours. But yeah, then it'll disconnect for like 3 and 4 seconds every now and then. So I don't know what's still going on, but it is definitely better than it was.
Is it still attached to that switch?
No, it's running. No, it's running straight to It's running straight to the computer, and it wasn't the switch either.
I checked it out. Where is it plugged into in the network? Is it plugged into the switch?
Directly to the router.
It's directly to the router. Interesting.
But anyway, yeah, it's giving me a lot more time before it does that. So I don't know. Trace this to. I think I have some kind of aura or field around me that destroys electric devices.
That could be
That's a thing. It is. Yeah. I saw a documentary one time.
Oh, wait. Can I be like those people that are like, I'm a Reiki vampire? What? You're a vampire? You drink blood? No, I steal their energy. I'm like, oh, so you're lame.
Can I be like that? You do that a lot, though. The sapping of energy is a power that you have.
Oh, Steph, now you're just being cruel.
Sorry, I'm just kidding. This is a little fun.
Nate, are you connected by Wi-Fi or are you hardwired to it?
Okay. I actually have to go right now. I was going to do an Irish goodbye anyways. Okay, I just want to make Steph feel bad. I am not bothered by that at all. Steph, if you want to, just don't cry. Anyway, so no, I'm not bothered by that at all. I just wanted to make her feel guilty, like she's the reason I totally left my own room, but I have to get to a kids program at their school. So, please like, share, and subscribe this OCD broadcast, and if you want to throw me a bone, go to askachristianpodcast.com, and yes, check that out. You can see all the links to get to our Discord or Clubhouse. Like, why would you want to? I don't know. You can also go to YouTube. Please subscribe on the YouTube. I'm trying to build that channel up before they cancel me. youtube.com/@questionsaboutchristianity. That's the URL. youtube.com/@ the @ symbol, questions about Christianity, no spaces. Find me there, subscribe. Also share this thing. Get the word out. Like the murdered babies into jewelry. That one's going pretty good. That's got a lot of eyeballs or ear holes on it. So share these things. Let's get more people involved. So I can be made fun of in my own podcast by everyone in the world. Why would I want that? I don't know. Anyways, everyone, have a good weekend. Oh, thank goodness it's Friday. Okay, I'll see you guys later. Take care. Like, share, subscribe, askachristianpodcast.com. Go read the Ask a Christian book. Maybe that will give insight into my psyche. Oh, I see I'm clipping. Am I clipping? Is this popping? Is this clipping? Please be working. Okay, goodbye, everyone. You can hang up now. I'm going to be loud for a second. Check. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, have a good weekend.